In today's episode, America is waging war on Russia with the hands of Ukrainians. Confessions of US General Mark Milley. The counteroffensive will not have a happy ending. Desperation of the Ukrainian President. Ukrainians will get sick with cancer on a massive scale. The cause is American shells with depleted uranium. Our analytical team at Detector Media is on constant watch, tracking the spread of the boldest fakes from Kremlin propaganda. I'm Vadym Miskyi, and for the next 10 minutes I'll guide you through the key facts. Let's get started. America is using Ukrainians to wage war on Russia. This fake is being spread by Kremlin propagandists. Allegedly, US General Mark Milley was so baffled by a question from a CBS News journalist that he admitted this fact.
Мировая сенсация. США впервые показали реальный центр управления украинским контрнаступлением, где ежедневно 24/7 анализируют ситуацию на фронтах. Центр, догадаться, конечно, несложно, находится в США. Это не Украина. Иными словами, американцы впервые показали, как выглядит тот самый секретный командный центр, точнее, центр принятия решений, который нам предстоит уничтожить.
The United States will help Ukraine defend itself. This is what General Mark Milley said.
So are you helping Ukraine select targets?
Target selection and authority to strike is with Ukraine. What we do is provide them situational awareness.
But you tell them there's a command post over there, there's an ammunition dump over there.
We'll give them the situational awareness as best we can tell.
So this really is a proxy war. You don't have boots on the ground, you're not making decisions, but you're helping Ukraine kill Russians.
We're helping Ukraine defend themselves is what we're doing.
The Ukrainian goal is to reach the crossroads city of Melitopol, where they would be in position to cut Russian-occupied territory in two.
How much longer do they have to keep fighting before winter?
The weather folks are telling us that you're looking at something in the probably the beginning of October before the rains come, and it won't be the winter. It'll be the rains that make the ground soft and make it unacceptable for ground maneuver.
Neither side has achieved its political goals at this point, the US general said. The war in Ukraine started by Russia will not end until either Kyiv or Moscow achieves its goals militarily or decides to negotiate. But for now, that time has not yet come. The president of Ukraine has admitted that the counteroffensive will not have a happy ending. This manipulative claim has been spread by Russian propagandists. They keep threatening, as they have been doing for the past year and a half, to start fighting for real.
Главное управление разведки Украины предупредило Зеленского о том, что холодный сезон может выдаться жарким. На украинской границе уже стоят 46 пусковых установок российского ракетного комплекса «Искандер». Совокупный залп из этих установок может выпустить по Украине 92 ракеты. Для справки, такие ракеты практически невозможно засечь. Они могут идти на сверхнизких высотах, огибать рельеф местности и поражать цели на расстоянии 500 километров. Будем считать, что это та самая заявка к интересной осени, о которой говорил Путин.
This is manipulation. Commenting on the Ukrainian armed forces' progress in the south and east, Volodymyr Zelensky said there would be no happy ending for Ukraine because it has lost a lot of people. The somewhat slow pace of liberation of the territories is the result of Russians mining every inch of land.
It depends on many directions, on many cases and issues, how to speed up counteroffensive, but remember that we need the result. The result we have to get our land, we have to get to deoccupy the land, and it's also not about the land, it's about the people, because the frozen war is not the peace. Putin, he wants to take all our country, to destroy all our families, houses, because if he understands why he destroys, he understands that Ukraine will never go away from our land, will never do it. That's why he has to kill us. He wants to do it. That's why when we speak about the counteroffensive, it depends on many cases. Of course, We gave a lot of time for Russians. We gave a lot of time to prepare, to mine,
to put the mines in.
to put the mines on the fields and on the big territory. And so you see the three defending lines.
And that's because you were waiting for Western
for the weapon.
weapons.
That's why I said, that's why what I said, it depends on many issues. We waited too long, it's true. No, I'm thankful to partners, to United States, EU, other partners. I'm thankful very much, President Biden, and to Congress. But we have to understand, we waited too long. They put mines.
Zelensky added that Russia was given a lot of time to prepare and build 3 lines of defense. Besides, Ukraine still does not control the skies. We do not have Western fighters, as well as long-range weapons such as ATACMS missiles. The depleted uranium shells provided by the United States will lead to an increase in the number of cancer cases in Ukraine. As usual, Kremlin propaganda exploits the concerns of vulnerable groups of population, people with compromised immune systems. This is fake.
В Пентагоне объявили, что боеприпасы с объединенным ураном должны быть переданы киевскому режиму к тому моменту, как ВСУ получат американские танки «Абрамс», то есть уже этой осенью. Заместитель пресс-секретаря Пентагона Сабрина Синг заявил журналистам, что никакого вреда от объединенного урана нет и быть не может. Якобы доказанные связи между применением радиоактивных боеприпасов и ростом заболеваемости раком не существует. Ну а резкий всплеск случаев онкологии в Сербии и Ираке после применения там силами НАТО объединенного урана, видимо, совпадение.
The deputy spokesperson for the US Department of Defense reminded that the World Health Organization has not recorded an increase in leukemia or other cancers after the use of depleted uranium. The IAEA in turn states that depleted uranium residues dispersed in the environment do not pose a radiological hazard to the public.
The health impacts of the depleted uranium rounds, I would push back on the assertion from Russian officials. Here, the CDC has stated that there is no evidence that the depleted uranium rounds cause cancer. The World Health Organization reports that there's been no increase of leukemia or other cancers and that have been established following any exposure to uranium or DU. And even the IAEA has stated unequivocally that there is no proven link between DU exposure and increases in cancers or significant health or environmental impacts. So I would push back on that. In terms of your second question, these are anti-tank rounds. They're meant to pierce tanks, and they're meant to be used, they will be used very effectively on the battlefield. These are standard issued rounds. These are what these Abrams tanks will use, and many militaries across the world use depleted uranium in their tanks. So we feel that these will be the most effective rounds to counter Russian tanks, and will help the Ukrainians to defend the battlefield, to defend their territory.
To recap, the US Department of Defense has announced a new aid package for Ukraine, which is estimated to be worth $175 million. The package will include depleted uranium ammunition for Abrams tanks. Another Kremlin manipulation around the supposed desire to sit down at the negotiation table. Russian presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the statements of US Secretary of State Antony Blinken about Russia's unreadiness for negotiations with Ukraine are untrue.
Если помимо военных боевых методов решения наших проблем появятся предпосылки для начала переговоров, эти переговоры начнутся. Сейчас таких предпосылок нет.
С чего бы можно было начать разговор? С каких предпосылок?
Ну, в любом случае, киевскому режиму придется начинать разговор с признанием тех реалий, которые появились после того, как Киев в марте месяце отказался от решения вопросов мирными средствами.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that peace talks with Russia are not currently feasible.
Well, first, I found Both President Zelensky and every Ukrainian that I met, whether it was folks in the government or whether it was many other Ukrainians that we had a chance to engage with over the course of 2 days, incredibly resilient, incredibly courageous, incredibly resolute. And ultimately, that's really what's at the heart of this and the reason that I remain very confident in Ukraine's ultimate success, which is that they're fighting for their country, for their future, for their freedom. The Russians are not. And keep in mind, Putin has already lost in what he was trying to achieve. He was trying to erase Ukraine from the map, end its independence, subsume it into Russia. That has already been a failure. Now, where exactly this settles, where lines are drawn, that is going to be up to Ukrainians. But I've found a strong determination to continue to work to get their territory back that's been seized by Russia. And as to negotiations, John, it takes two to tango.
As a reminder, President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he was emotionally prepared for a protracted war and believed that now was a bad time for negotiations with Russia. All Ukrainians are ready to fight for their land as long as necessary. Ukraine will defeat the invaders. Stay with us so that you never fall victim to Kremlin propaganda. Have a nice day.